But when you're down a round, psychologically, you are losing. So there's more reason to press. So he does Lionheart because he anticipates that his opponent's going to feel that pressure on this stage. So here we have FEARofSilence. I think this is a Dragunov player from New York. Yeah, this is a NYC Tekken right here. FEARofSilence. My man from NYC. We got NYC in the building playing Pakistan player on the big stage. So one, that's a big up for FEARofSilence. So definitely proud of that man for making this far, representing New York. That's where we from Queens. So my man's playing Dragunov, and he's going. They didn't change the title here yet, but he's going up against NUMAN. So it's gonna be NYC Dragunov versus Pakistan Steve right here. You want to see it go down. This is a top tier character. Dragunov is one of the best characters in the game for his oppressive pressure and his very low risk play style. And he's going up against Steve, who used to be the previous master of that style of play. A very low risk, low committal style that he can get counter hits on. So we're about to see it go down right here in T8.
Pakistan, a matchup we don't often see, but at the global
Let's see what we got.
We're gonna see it.
Boom! Counter hit down forward 2. Got counter hit 2, down 2. Boom! Let's go back right here. I'm pause a lot. So right now we have a little skirmish in the center. Gets a counter hit. Boom, boom. Right now he's +3. What does he do with the +3 right here? He goes for back 1. So that's another counter for the back 1. He has done 4 back 1s this entire round. So he did 3 back 1s in the set with Aladar, and he landed 1. So he's 1 for 3. So I'm going to start it over. So he goes for the setup, the +3 setup. He does while standing 1, 2, and then he goes for back 1. Because if you try to press into him while standing, you'll get counter hit by this. Goes for it, and it whiffs. Gets poked down forward 1. And then he steps. So right now, the style that FEARofSilence is going for, and the style that's usually the most successful with Dragunov, has been a whiff punisher style. Where Dragunov is using it's a mixture of whiff punisher and aggro, where they're using just enough buttons to get you to retaliate, and then they step, and then they can either choose to get plus, or they can step in, and if you pressed into them, choose to get a launcher. So he gets counter hit. NUMAN gets counter hit down 2 from Dragunov. He takes those frames and then does blue sparks for running 2. Which does do chip damage. So right now we are losing right now. He's plus. We just took chip. NUMAN tries to step the follow-up pressure for when Dragunov tries to catch up with the frames. But instead of going for high pressure after the running 2, FEARofSilence goes for the low. Goes for the full, I think that's full crouch 1-4, I think. Somebody correct me. And then NUMAN knows that after he gets the sneak off of that pressure, normally you would either go for you can go for slide, you can go for shoulder, you can just cancel it and step. He has so many options out of that bullshit. I ain't gonna lie, but Dragunov can definitely play with you. Even if he knew that this was coming, he's not trapped into an animation. Dragunov could really just step after sneak and then just back turn punish Steve right here with a down forward 2. But NUMAN reads that is gonna go for either shoulder or a sneak 4, which would be the wheel kick, the fucking heat engager. He goes for a jab. So his jab actually gets is the thing that gets him counter hit. We go for heat engager, we're plus. We go for running 2, back 1. +8. Goes for sway 1. Look at that. Boom. 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 He's +8. So instead of going for a big attack like Lionheart 2 or the unblockable, Because that's the 50-50 right here. Normally you'd be like, yo, listen, I'm +8. I have the right to go for a 50-50. If you stand block, you get hit with the swing fire. If you duck, you get hit with the bloodhound, the uppercut. So right here, what NUMAN does is he actually goes for sway 1. Because like we mentioned earlier, he anticipates that his opponent is going to go for that. He anticipates his opponent's going to try to duck or try to see what the mix-up is. So instead of taking that risk and potentially getting lost, because the cons for that mix-up is if he goes for swing fire, he's going to get ducked and launched and then taken to the wall. The cons for Bloodhound is that he's going to get punished and then he's going to be at disadvantage off hit. So instead, he anticipates that his opponent is going to be blocking after this mix-up and will try to see what he does. So he takes advantage of this blocking or moving back that FEARofSilence does. He goes for sway 1 and gets 10 recoverable damage off on him. FEARofSilence goes for down 2. And then right after the sway 1, NUMAN steps and then gets the sonic thing. So I'll actually go over that again. Boom. Gets the plus. Sway 1. Steps to the left. Because he knows that FEARofSilence is going to try to take his turn back since he just blocked something. And then he step, gets Sonic Fang, Heat Dash, and then does forward 2. Very good round by NUMAN. Goes for Lionheart in the beginning. See? Because he has a lead right now. Because NUMAN has the lead, he's accessing more of the toolkit that we have. More of the risky part of the toolkit. My man NUMAN is excellent at reads. This is really like the reads Steve right here. This is the Steve that will get good reads with weaves and good steps, good movement at the right time. And use that to take advantage and then put you in a mix-up or take you to the wall. That has been NUMAN's style. That has been successful for him so far. So he gets some chip right here. I'm gonna tell you that when he's using certain options to get the chip off. This does relate to the video we just dropped. So he goes for Lionheart, he doesn't get anything, and then he does ducking forward 2. Because he wants to see what the opponent's gonna do. That gambit he just did, because we just had a video come out called the opening gambit. The gambit he just went for, we'll show it in slow-mo. So the round starts. He goes for outfox. Because if the opponent jabs or does down forward 2 in an attempt to try to take their turn or aggressively take their turn because they're down a round already. So now they have a reason to. When it was just 0-3, like there's not really that much pressure to press a button. But when you're down a round, psychologically, you are losing. So there's more reason to press. So he does Lionheart because he anticipates that his opponent's going to feel that pressure on this stage. He does the Lionheart. He doesn't get it. So normally after opponents see that you whiff this, they will try to attack you. So he goes for ducking forward 2 because this will counter hit you on hit or on counter hit. And on block, it will chip you out. So that's the gambit he went for. He went for a high crush gambit. So he tried to go back to catch a whiff, and then he high crushed his way to Dragunov to try to catch a jab or that tracking high attack that he has, the little roundhouse kick, and it would have counter hit launched him. So if he blocks, he gets chip damage, and if he hits, he gets a knockdown. If he counter hits, he gets a launch. These are all fantastic options The only way to counter this is to armor or duck. So he took, and there was no real reason for him to armor because he thought he was about to get a whiff punish. So this was a very good gambit by NUMAN right here, and I will take notes of that. Boom, he goes for another one. Gets more chip damage. I believe it does like 6 chip damage, so not as much as Sway 1. But it adds up. Gets a second one. And then goes for Gatling. Gatling, again, is what catches you if you step. But it'll also catch you if you duck. So he goes for that. Because if he tried to cancel the Punisher and then go for while standing 1, which is what I would usually do, it would have been too slow. He would have been getting hit. So Gatling is actually saving NUMAN several times here. It's covering multiple options. I want to make that very clear. He goes for a duck because he thinks he's gonna pressure. He gets down forward 1. He backsteps. So instead of trying to step after getting hit by that first one, he creates space. Down 2-1. Gets caught, so he cancels it at the perfect time. He does down 2-1 ducking cancel and is able to block the down forward 1 in time. I'll go a little bit faster. Down forward 2. A lot of footsies right here. He goes for a micro step. Armor try to steal the turn. Ooh, we got Lionheart. That's the second one. Flicker of 1-1 goes into Peekaboo. Tries to crush a high. There's several like options being covered here. Let's pay attention to what move he did afterward. So he went for Peekaboo forward 2, which created space between him and Dragunov. Dragunov goes for down 2. And then normally after down 2, Dragunovs will go for full crouch down forward 1-4 into sneak. NUMAN anticipates this. He does Lionheart to try to get up out of there and go for a counter hit. But he doesn't get it. He doesn't get the counter at the. He doesn't get the re at the right time. So FEARofSilence tries to go and interrupt Lionheart. My man steps and then he gets right weave 2'd. And say hop in Discord. Alright, but you got chill though. We gonna put this on YouTube, man. We kind of reviewing this, and we gonna mix this in with this video we have that just came out. I'll hop in there after this match. Boom, jab. Alright, good pressure. So right now he's 2 up. Goes for a back 1 right here. I'll make that a counter. That's the second one. All of the back ones have been close to the beginning of the round. They've been within the first 5 seconds. So yeah, and it got whiffed again. He goes for another one. That's 2. 1 round. My man's daring today. It's safe because he hit it on block. It's safe. But notice what my man is doing right here. Every Steve player knows this situation, bro. You do anything with Steve, people ready to duck and launch you while standing. This is the plague of Steve's right here. So right now, what my man FEARofSilence is saying is, go ahead and shoot that flicker back 2. I'm gonna hit you with this while standing 2 and launch you. That's what he's saying. So he jab checks him right here. He takes the low, he jab checks him, gets the pressure back. Full crouch down for 1. Sneak, gets a good duck. He got a guard break. Let's see how he got that. Full crouch down forward 1. Or is that 2? I think that's 4. I've been saying down. No, that is down forward 1. I was right. Full crouch down forward 1, 4. Sneak. And then he goes for sneak 1. This move is a counter hit launcher. If this move hits you on counter hit for you pressing anything, he gets a full launch from this. NUMAN reads it. He goes for the full duck. He does while standing 2-2, which is our 13 frame while standing. And then right now he's plus 11 in Lionheart. That is mass. That's the most plus frames that Lionheart could get. This is a very favorable situation. Now he has so much plus frames that it would almost be foolish unless it was the end of the round and he could lose the whole thing. It would be crazy to not go for the 50-50. So he goes for the 50-50 right now. He doesn't go for sway 1. He goes for the unblockable because he's plus 11 and the unblockable is 18 frames. So he cracks him. There's very little room for counterplay unless you step or duck very fast. Gets the unblockable and cashes out on it with 2-1 into Peekaboo. So he, instead of getting max damage, he wants the mix up. 2-1 on hit into Peekaboo, I believe is plus 13, if I'm not mistaken. So right now he's plus 13 in Peekaboo. And with that plus 13, he cashes out and gets a counter hit grab. You can tell it's counter hit by the white flash. And he still gets it, bro. You have like 7 fucking frames to break that. And I think he broke that shit right there. I'll speed it up a little bit. Breaks the throw. Goes for another back 1. It lands on hit. So he uses it after the throw break. Let's check that out. Boom. Grab broken. He breaks he breaks the throw from the 10 count and then immediately goes for back 1. Boom. Goes for a Lionheart option out for his plus 8. Very good step. Ooh.
Oh, he was just saving him in home. That was so nice there.
He did Lionheart, which also should be counted. He did Lionheart and then weave the running attack.
Very, very nice there.
Raw grab from Fear, able to keep himself in it.
Yeah, so many, side swings and stuff.
He goes for another back 1.
Able to keep himself in it.
Yeah, so many.
All at the beginning of the round. Every back 1 has been at the beginning or after a throw break. Just want to note that.
Side swings and stuff there.
Gets plus 8 from Dragunov landing a jab, and then he goes for down 2. My man's in the mix. He gets a rocket launcher. How did he get that? So he blocked. He did a micro sidestep left, and then did rocket. Very tight execution. Did a Lionheart and did its weave.
Oh, he's baiting him in. He wants him to come in there. He wants him to come into that range.
He said he wants him to come in there. When he does Lionheart, he wants him to come in.
Oh, he's baiting him in. He wants him to come in there. He wants him to come into that range. But
Oh, hold up. What happened right there? Does back 1-2 on hit. Doesn't do anything with the plus frames. He goes for a late timing grab, which he does get on counter hit. Gets it broken though. And then again, look at that. Right after the throw break, goes for the back 1. Right after. That's the second time he got hit with it, which would make a total of 6 times he's used back 1. So he's back. Used back one 6 times, and this is round 4. And none of them have landed. He instead gets it red because FEARofSilence was able to read. That was actually an excellent read on his part. As good NYC Tekken right there. He noticed the last time that NUMAN Chaudhry, when he broke the 10 count grab, his reaction was to go for back 1. So he went for the grab right here. And it happened so fast too. Look at that. He goes for the arm clinch grab. Up forward 1+2. Breaks it. And then FEARofSilence remembered. He was like, yo, earlier when we were in this situation, we went for back 1. Which he does. And gets rewarded for. So notice how back 1 was not the safe option right there. He gets punished. But in this case, it's a read. So he was able to he wasn't able to punish back 1 on reaction. He punished back 1 off of a read. So he knew he was going to do back 1 in advance, and he was able to take advantage. Even though he was in flicker, I feel like you should be able to launch it, or if you read it, it's just it should not be launch punishable on reaction. There we go. Gets the launch. Doesn't do anything. Drops the combo. He goes for another back 1. That's 7 back 1s total. It's cracked. He does sneak. He does a step and then does back 1. So he's masking his back 1s with step right now. And then does instant duck, but then gets counter hit 1. Yeah, so right now we notice kind of a play style change from FEARofSilence. FEARofSilence is starting to adapt. So he's doing, NUMAN did back 1, did ducking. FEARofSilence checks him, his duck with the down forward 1. He then rushes after down forward 1, tries to get a grab. He's trying to force that situation several times. Right now, FEARofSilence like, yo, every time I go for a grab, are you going to back 1? Is that my opening? And now he's checking him. So after throw breaks, he decides to check NUMAN CH right here. So instead of letting it happen, and so even if NUMAN would have went for back 1, he would have gotten outpaced. So right now, FEARofSilence made that micro adaptation and had found his way to hurt NUMAN. And now NUMAN is adapting to that, and now he's like, okay, you want to press into me? I'm gonna go for Sabaki parry. You want to jab into me, right? I'm gonna go for my Sabaki parry. He's like, try to jab me. Boom. We're getting chipped because we're in heat. They got him against the wall. We can go for a 50-50, or we can go for a chip. He goes for the 50-50. And it got ducked. And now he's about to lose.
If he gets the right combo here, it's going to put him in a really bad situation.
He doesn't lose here. He gets wall carried, but he doesn't lose. Right? But if he was able to get that rage hard, NUMAN would have definitely lost in this situation. You said, did he make it out the group? I'm not sure, actually. So that's actually something I'm looking for. I didn't watch the whole thing later. Kind of got caught up making a video. But we're going to make a video out of this. It's like how we're kind of counting how many times NUMAN does back 1. And if it's as OP as people think. So far, in the last round against Aladar, he did 3 back 1s total in the sets. And only 1 was successful. All of them being after a throw break. So right now, it seems like NUMAN's pattern is after throw break, do back 1. Which, in this case, FEARofSilence was catching on to. Boom, he got the wall carry. So right now, the whole reason my man is in this situation is because he decided to go for the Lionheart 50-50 and got punished.
Oh, what a talk. That was so good by FEARofSilence. If he gets the right combo here.
NUMAN remembers this. But he also took this into account when he went for it. Because look at this. He's up round. NUMAN was 3-1 W. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Good shit. We gonna review all the matches right here, bro. We're gonna do more right here. But yeah, look at that. He got wall carry because he got his 50-50 red, but he was up and wins. So even if he got that 50-50 red and he died, it would not be over. So that was a case of risk management. I guarantee you if it was like 2-2 right now, he would have not done that. NUMAN actually reverses it on him. He gets a crazy run into. So right now he fucked up the combo. He was supposed to use Rage Art. Goes for some other shit. Gets rolled. NUMAN does an instant running 2, and then he gets a wall splat. And then NUMAN is not going to waste that opportunity. And then he gets it. FoSilence is tight because he could have won that match. And then sent it to final round. It's 1-0. He's considered the best Steve right now. He is the most accomplished Steve. Like Shinblade will see the best Steve as the most accomplished Steve, and I agree with him. It's the Steve that's been in tournament the most and had the most tournament success. And currently NUMAN is that Steve. I actually think Hera is a bit better because he didn't go for points. Hera was kind of playing online and he was playing in certain locals, but he actually did beat NUMAN in a set in tournament. So I believe, and because he beat him in that set, I don't believe he's the best. I don't believe that's the reason why he's the best Steve. I believe he's the best Steve because every time I see his Steve, he's constantly pushing the limits of what he do. And then Booperman is the top ranked Steve online, I believe, unless it got taken. Booperman played in Japan Evo. Oh, I didn't know. I need to see what his performance is because he's a very aggressive Steve. His Steve is not like NUMAN Steve where it's really going for reads. Like Booperman is pressing that offense. he is going in with peekaboo down 1 and other mix-ups. NUMAN really getting his joint off for reads. Very good at the reads. Very good at knowing when you're gonna attack and taking advantage of it. Goes for back 1 at the beginning. Further instating that pattern that we were talking about. I came out with a video called Approaching the Neutral. And I said pattern recognition is very important for Steve players. You can prep to see which moves will reach the opponent first. And we can kind of get an idea of how the opponent plays so we can spot out any patterns. And with Steve spotting out patterns is very important. It's very indicative of his game plan. Very mission critical for him. Now I'm noticing NUMAN's pattern. So if I was fighting NUMAN, I would be taking advantage of this heavily. Like, yo, he likes to start the rounds B1. And at the throw breaks, he likes to B1 as well. And then after my pressure, after I'm plus, he likes to weave. So after I do like running 2, I would like apply some fake pressure and I do up back 2. I try to track him. But in this case, we have him doing back 1. He does full crouch, down for 1, does sneak, and then tries to get a counter hit launch. That is also safe. Counter hit, high launcher, that is safe. This would be like Steve's back 1. This is like Steve's back 1, technically. He goes for sidestep Albatross 2. This is the first time he's using Albatross 2. This Shinblade uses Albatross 2 like 5 times a match. And for good reason. It's -3. It's a heat engager if you hit it. If you're already in heat, it's a launcher. And you can also kind of, because of the space, kind of game a back 1 out of this. So you can either do like Lionheart or Outfox in a back 1 because people will usually try to pressure you because they notice you did something that was safe on block, but they can try to take their turn back. So back one back one probably would have been more effective here. Actually, wait a minute. Let me see how what frames that was, because I don't know what he did. No, see, it wouldn't have been effective. I lied. So Lionheart was the best option, because that move he did, down forward 4, I think that is 12 frames, if I'm not mistaken. So when he did Albatross 2 at -3, that means back one would have came out at frame 16. And that move is 12 frames, so it would have actually resulted in Dragunov getting a counter hit down forward 4, and then he probably would have followed that up with running 2 to capitalize on those plus frames from that distance. So NUMAN makes the correct choice, goes for but not right here. He goes for Lionheart, but then he goes for the big one. But he does this again. This is not, because normally Steve players would see this and be like, "Yo, see, he going for uppercut." He's going for uppercut because this number 1 is by his name. Because he took the first set, he is slowly accessing Steve's other tools. Because Steve's more risky tools.
You know, he's playing well, but
Gets a whiff. So right now, Dragunov tries to whiff punish that Lionheart 2, and instead he's getting punished. Goes for a check. Harold Malik does that a lot, where he won't go for the full foot stomp. He'll check you with down forward or with one of them, and then he'll try to see what you do. Boom. So even if you block it, he'll get a block punish. Because I think this is safe if you just do the first one. Goes for a high afterwards. So he forces an opening by forcing a pattern. Again, rewarded for reads. That was a opening via a read. Goes for sidestep. Sidestep. Keep him at the wall. Instant flicker 2 to get that chip damage. Goes for while standing 1-2. I don't even know what he punished. My man just went for it so fast. Let's slow it down and check. He went for this because he thought NUMAN was going to go for foot stomp. This would have countered foot stomp perfectly. NUMAN doesn't go for foot stomp at the wall. He instead blocks. He does side steps to make sure Dragunov doesn't try to leave the wall on this side. And does instant flicker 2 to get chip or a knockdown on hit. He tries to step. And he just goes for wall standing 1-2. I don't think he reacted to this. I think he anticipated that Dragunov was going to jab. And he kind of shot early and got lucky. Because you notice he got a counter hit on that. Alright, let's see.
Let's see what FEARofSilence does to bring this back though.
Down forward 2. Rockets.
They're mainly down forward ones, but now he needs to shake it up a bit, take a bit more risk.
Ooh wee. Let's check that out. Dragunov is plus. Does a plus thing. He takes advantage and goes for more plus frames. Dragunov ends, I think that's his 4-4. He ends it in crouching, and normally Dragunovs will go for full crouch down forward 1-4 from here. He instead goes for while standing 1, which NUMAN, after plus frames, like we said, he's going to try to weave, which he does. He gets a weave, and instead of just doing shoulder bump, he goes for the ducking skyscraper again, which does not get punished. It just gets interrupted. Oh, it gets armored. He got armored. Gets a successful Lionheart. How did he get it? Let's check it out. Gets QCF2. Fortress crouch. Albatross 2. So he does that same gambit he did at the beginning of the first round. He goes for Albatross 2 and over here. Boom. Shinblade opens so many God of Destruction players up. Literally like that. Because the thought process is, okay, he did a safe move. It's my turn, right? Boom.
That's a huge launcher there.
Goes for wall push. He gets the read. So normally NUMAN would go for back 1. But it's too late. He goes for a weave.
Break.
Armor to try to stop the pressure early. Try to get a read.
Oh, again.
1-2-1 to try to interrupt. Dig jab to stop the pressure. Goes for it again. Observe. This is the 3rd time he's doing it.
That's 2 occasions. The sidewall there, he had the round twice there. 20 seconds remaining. That's 2 occasions. The sidewall there, he had the round.
Go for back 1, so I will count that. I almost didn't notice that.
That's 2 occasions.
Boom. So he does outfox, right weave, dash forward, does back 1. So that's a total of 9 back 1s.
The sidewall there, he had the round
Over here.
twice there. 20 seconds remaining.
Does Albatross 2.
And NUMAN gets a big
Gets the
launcher
big
here.
combo. He gonna do the big combo.
Get the wall pressure situation. Guess for game scenario. Oh, very into super.
Very good.
Guess for
He went for running 2 after the big combo. He goes for the spike. Wants to pressure him. He gets 9 chip damage.
guess for game scenario.
He goes for the big low, or goes for a QCF2 and he got low parried. And then instantly Rage are very smart. Get the match over with. Do not take any risk.
Pressing the chat. Fast at the offset. No break.
No break. That's up forward 1+2.
Big fan of players using a lot of
Boom.
those, because even if they,
Was that an instant peekaboo?
yeah, I'm a big fan of play,
No, it's full crouch down forward 2. Or down forward
a
1.
lot of throws because
Goes for the mid.
it just
See, he went for Albatross 2, but instead of going for Lionheart, he's like, okay, I've gotten enough data. I noticed you're not exactly pressing after it. He got rewarded 1 time, so he's like, all right, I'm going to go for counter hits now.
adds up to that mental stack. It gives him something else.
Sidestep back 2. Wow, that execution, bro.
It gives him something else to think about.
Gets Sonic Fang.
Because even if they break it, it just adds up to that mental stack.
Boom. So he sidesteps the Sabaki parry. So right now, Dragunov went for a Sabaki parry right there. He steps the Sabaki parry to the right, does back 2, and then gets a heat engager because we get that guaranteed. He does instant Fox Hunt, which is a very interesting choice.
It just adds up to that mental stack. It gives him something else.
Look at that.
Like, why
So he's in heat. He does instant duck.
doing that?
And normally, Steve would go for like after you do that, you would go for clinch, but instead he goes for Fox Hunt, catches him ducking, so he heard the noise from the instant duck or from the flash duck, and he was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna have to guess on clinch," and then he ducked it. And then he got hit by the power Fox Hunt. So that was very interesting. I'm surprised he didn't go for like Gatling or something. Because Gatling would have got a wall splat here. Gatling would have probably been a little bit better choice. Because he would have got the kill. But then again, the wall's kind of slanted. So it would have went either way. But boom. He goes for a safe mid because he's in heat. He gets the heat dash. Instant Argos. He does the Awaken Steve. He's an Awaken Steve. He did instant peekaboo, down 1-1-2, all mids in case you crouch. So he notices NUMAN is read right here is that FEARofSilence likes to crouch. he will crouch me when I approach. So this is why he goes for this power fox hunt and gets rewarded. He goes for this right here, and he goes for several mids and gets rewarded with that third mid because he's estimating or reading that he's gonna go for a counter hit or that he's gonna go for a duck and try to take his turn back.
Behind it. Just lets the sprint
Right now, this is match point for NUMAN.
Very good stuff by NUMAN. One more round and he takes this 2.
Goes for back one. I will note that, but he gets counter hit. And actually, we don't know if he went for back one too, but I'll count that one. I'll count it as he went for back one. He got beat out by jab. So far, my man has 0 successful back ones in this round. He had a successful one in the Oladar match, but out of 10 back one attempts, he has landed 0. Want to make a note of that.
Yeah, this will be a big round for
Goes for Albatross too.
Numan is going to be putting himself in a really good position in this feud, going up another 2-0. Fear, got to make something happen here.
He has to do something. He needs to change his game here. That was a really nice
Nice.
3, okay.
Great
Go
punish.
for Rocket. Goes for out. Okay, tried to mix it up.
Spin the win.
Activate.
Back
Yeah,
into
spin the
the
win.
situation. Nice down 2. Road break.
Full crouch down for 2 or QCF2, and then goes for Heat Smash to get the plus.
No dangerous situation. Nice down 2. Road break.
So instead of when the throw was broken, he's going for lows now. He's not going for B1s no more. He's going for the low. He stepped. Did that in cake because he estimated that Dragunov was going to try to crouch him. He's probably going to go for a mid.
Yo, no one's got heat.
He does a duck cancel and then does running through. Very risky.
No one's got heat.
Excellent duck. He's plus 11.
What a duck. And he goes. No one's got
Very
heat.
nice closeout. So he did while standing. What was that? While standing 2-1.
Yo, no one's got heat. No one.
He passes the knowledge check. So he backs up. FearofSilence does a jab and steps right to try to get out of the corner. Dragunov does. I don't know if that's back 2. I think that's back 2-1. Gets the high ducked. And Steve punishes with us while standing 2-2. He's plus 11 in Lionheart. And then he goes for the unblockable. He's up around. He can take the risk. And the 50-50 would be for game. So instead of going for chip, he goes for the read. And he gets the read. Plus 11. Very strong frames.
With that, starting to change his
GG's for NUMAN again.
situation.